we just have to make sure. It's fine. And so we just have to make sure that we can keep their interest for the entire time that they're there during the program. So tomorrow we have the second day of the summer program, which would be the sheriff department, right? Yes. So Wednesday's gonna be the sheriff department. Friday is going to be the split between Arhan and Zahir. And then next week is occupation week, where I have to pull it up. But who do we have coming Monday? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the way occupation week's gonna be split up is that we're gonna have two speakers come up. One is gonna come from the beginning of the day up until lunch, and then the second one will be from lunch all the way till the end of the summer program for that day. So Monday, we have the chef coming in the morning. And then after, we're trying to get Mr. Brown from Littlemore Labs to come. Ms. Tingle, I tried contacting him through like text and call, but I didn't get any response. Yeah, Mr. Brown. Okay, all right, yeah, we'll keep trying for that. And then so Wednesday and Friday is basically gonna be the same thing. After occupation week, the third week would be
Art week.
arts, right?
Yeah.
No, I could do, once you sign in, do you wanna like, just like quickly recap what you guys are gonna be doing?
Then after that is science innovation. Right, yeah,
It's your week.
and then fifth is, yeah, and then the July 4th thing. Wait, is June?
It's just before.
July 4th and then
science innovation.
mine is, yeah, July
Yeah,
4th and then
after.
science innovation, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You can say it in the mic though.
Okay, so on the first day, we're planning to do origami and color changing activity at the same time. And then the origami would be for like older kids and color changing for the younger. And then we also have clay pots after lunch, and this both age groups can participate in. And then on the second day, we're gonna do rock painting, and at the same, or like after rock painting is on coloring sheets if there is extra time. And then after lunch, we'll have painting the clay pots that we made on the previous day. And then on the last day, we'll have landscape painting for the older kids, and then finger painting or life drawing for the younger kids. And then after lunch, we'll have like a hanger, which is made of popsicle sticks, and it has like quotes or like cool designs on it.
Okay, and you already have all the materials for that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
And then so then we have the July, the first week of July, we have a break. And then right after would be
Science
science and innovation. So what are you doing for yours?
All right, so for Monday, we're gonna be teaching kids about circuitry for the first hour, and oh yeah, sorry, Monday is all FTC, so it's a robotics team that will come in and do group activities with the kids. And then for Tuesday, we have circuitry for the first hour. Sorry, Wednesday, we have circuitry for the first hour, and for the next hour, we're doing a car race for the kids. It's pasta cars, yeah. They just launch it down ramps and the fastest one wins. And yeah, Friday, the first hour is going to be bridge building. So it's going to be the same as last year, where the kids build bridge with plastic straws. And this year we're actually gonna have rules though, so they can't use popsicle sticks. And the catapult this year will also be the same as last year. We'll give them the instruction sheets to build with it too.
So one thing I wanna talk about is a couple of things though, but we're gonna start with I wanna go with the age that we have. Right now, we've seen that just from the first day that we have a lot of kids that are very young, like we're talking first, maybe even kindergarten through third, right? So how would you try to like include them into your plans for science innovation?
I mean, we're gonna have instruction sheets for everything, and if they need help, we'll obviously go and help them. But our age range initially that we advertised was 1st to 6th grade, so that's what we really designed it for. We weren't expecting like kindergarten and stuff to come, so it'll be a struggle, but I think we'll manage, just like explaining it to them slowly and coming and helping them.
And then what about the prizes?
The prizes, yeah, I'm not too sure about that either. We could do it without prizes, honestly. I don't think the kids would really care too much. But if we could have prizes, that'd be nice. I mean, I guess candy would work. I mean, really, anything small, I guess, for the first place winners.
So Arhant, I know that we for your Jeopardy game on Friday, were you planning to have prizes, correct? For whoever would win?
Like, yeah, Andy was one thing, but also, yeah, like originally what me and Zubair think is like we were gonna buy like, there's like always prizes you can buy like 12 on it, it's on like small plastic book, like that, but like that didn't really work out, so I guess can't be. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so that means that in between the time from today and Friday, we'll have to get that.
Bill, who works in the recreation department, he indicated, he once stepped up and said that she saw some prizes on Amazon that might work for us. It was maybe, I think the price was minimal, but it was things that younger kids especially would appreciate and never involved. Okay, so you remember what she said?
I don't think I remember, yeah, I'm not sure.
I know she said, and that's what was going on, I was hoping that your young man was this with that one did. But it was a very good idea.
Yeah, she gave me her phone, so I can reach out and ask about that.
Okay, and she was, suggesting some prizes that we could get involved. For the younger kids, and I just want to reiterate, we did realize on yesterday that we had quite a few young people in the age range of kindergarten to 3rd grade, and that could be a lot to manage. For the first activity, they were well entertained, or well considered, and learned a lot, and were extremely interactive. However, some of the other, as the weeks go on, some of the activities that you stated that we might not be as easy for very young people to grasp on and hold their attention. So I did speak with Ms. Laura today, and on our information, we're going to change it where it's, I think we said second grade through 8th. But since we have the literature out and others have signed up, they're a lot younger, people sometimes, the parents have a way of maybe leaving them out with something that would be a little bit too much for them to handle. However, what you were saying earlier is that we do have to then again think of something that would engage those who have already signed up and are coming, the younger kids. And I find that drawing in some things, you'd be surprised that some younger people like being in a room with the young people and being part of, included. So many times that in itself will keep them somewhat engaged to being with a group of people, older kids, and it gives them a sense of filling in and feeling inclusive. But we have plenty of paper, plenty of crayons and what have you. And the idea that you guys came up with yesterday at the last hour was an excellent idea of the things that they'd learned that day, thinking about an escape route, looking their home and thinking about drawing their home and making it in an escape route in case of an emergency. How would you get out? Those things were rewarding, and it was well received, and the kids did some good things, and it was real good. So it is good really to have a plan A, B, and C, which you guys did on yesterday, and it was really good. So I commend you, and start thinking even in your own individual weeks, if something comes up and you're running, you have more time than you anticipated, just some quick things that might get over with the materials that we already have.
So on the topic of the age range, so for your week, Rishi, if we were to include more of an audience from 2nd through 8th grade, and we have kids from like around the middle school age come, And then obviously we still have the younger kids that are already there from K through third. Would it be possible to have it where like we would pair younger kids and older kids and they would work together? Something like that work, or would it been how to, would we want to use separate competitions and separate judging?
We could do the pair up thing, but I don't know if random kids are gonna like being paired up together. I don't know if that's a great idea. Because, I mean, I know the older kids, if they're especially if they're middle schoolers, I don't know how they're gonna fare with really young, like kindergartners. So I think the only option we'd have is separate, yeah.
So, Ms. Single, I know we brought it up on Monday, but are we fully settled on like we've increased the limit, the max capacity for signing up and as well as for volunteers? Have we already have that fixed on the website?
We can increase it, and Ms. Laura, you might be able to give some comment on that. We're going to change the age limit for, from second grade on up, so there's not as many kindergartners and first graders, but second grade on up. And even though 50 to 59 people signed up, there's always that the no-show element. So if I think there'd probably be any problem to open it up to see if more people do, if, people still can sign up. And we will probably be able to handle them as long as we had a lot of volunteers. We had a lot of volunteers, which is really good because the span of supervision worked out well. But to your other point, we could probably handle more. We have enough supplies. We could probably handle more kids. And the upcoming weeks that we have is not so much a lot of supplies that would be needed on some things. I know there might be a little issue when it comes for making the baker's hats. There might be, who was doing the? You want to speak up just a little bit louder or move? And if we're finding that with sign up sheets, because we will know, have an idea how many people will be signing up, and we could adjust to that with more tissue. Because we didn't have, although we had a lot in the room, we needed this whole room with the fire department. They put the tables out yesterday, but even with that, we were planning on up to 60, and we had about 50 people yesterday. So as you said, there was about 10% down, or 5% down. And since it's just a tissue paper, we can probably have on hold. We do have a lot of things. We were like on the wire on some supplies. But when we collected supplies that we had from the prior years, from some of the various homes, we found out we had a lot. And as an aside subject, at the end of every summer camp now, we probably should start doing an inventory so we know for the next year. And these are key learnings along the way. So we know for the next year what we already have on hand.
On that same topic, Naharika, does Art Week have enough supplies to hold like more than 60 people? Because one of the main things we discussed is that for certain weeks, if we want, we could consider just completely removing the like the maximum limit itself, right? And well, for other weeks, we should just raise it. Like for occupation week, like I think for a lot of our supplies, we don't have enough, like for, I think for like the architect and stuff, marshmallows. Marshmallows can run out pretty easily, especially when kids start to eat them. So for like some weeks, it'd probably be smarter to just raise the limit, while for others, like probably for like this week, it would be easy to just remove it because, it's just mostly a presentation.
And if we find that people normally came in at the beginning of the workshop, by 11, I would say we look at this because people sign in, sign out. By 11:10, 11:15, we pretty much had our group here. And luckily now we have Safeway closed, so it's marshmallows and those types of things we can run and pick up more. Those types of things. And now had some rocks from a prior year, and by the way, all the supplies are in now, and you can look at those. The rocks are very nice. and more paintbrushes came with them. So now we have upward of about 75 paintbrushes. 30, we bought 50 and this package had 30 in it, so we're good. 50, and I think there was some more I saw more rocks back there. But, we can see how many people have signed up. I know for the week that we just had, we had an idea through the data that Miss Laura provided that it would be upward about 55 to 60. So we had a good idea. Because when they do sign up online.
So, so which one are we more leaning towards? Just removing it or raising it right now?
We could raise it if, or allow more people to come, as long as we are going to be set on the amount of, there's two issues. Enough volunteers, student volunteers, and then we have enough adult supervision.
Mhm.
And we've gotten some commitment from adults, working with schedules, but we do need the correct span of supervision when we're working with children. But you brought up a point earlier that when working with the kids, especially younger kids, they feel more comfortable when they're working with the same people all the time. And this I learned from prior years. So if you find that there's a few of the younger kids that gravitate toward you and they become familiar with you, they'll seek you out and look for you. So it makes it better when it's a trust thing. And I heard you talking on that, but that is a good idea to not change the counselors, if you will, the camp counselors, with the young kids, because that builds their trust and they can let you know when they have to go to the bathroom, because especially when we're playing out in the yards, we cannot leave any young person on their own, let them run to the bathroom or what have you. We must accompany them and keep them in line of sight all the time. And the more they know you, the more it's easier for them to come up and be really transparent. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to do this, and you'll know where they are and accompany them places.
How did that go on Monday? Did we have any times where we're at risk for there not to be enough oversight for kids, either go to the restroom or whatever?
So for Monday, whenever the kids had to go to the bathroom, usually because the parents were they had to stay here. So the parents would just ask, okay, where's the bathroom? I'll take my kid, and they would just go.
Because they were all here. We're in tables. And it's more critical when we're out in open field, like when we're in the park area, especially when you're doing the rocks and the painting, and we're in the park area in Central Park. That's when it's absolutely key, because you can't let the kids slip into the bushes and run off and chase butterflies or what have you. You have to be more vigilant. They can't get into too much when we're enclosed in the room, and we were enclosed yesterday. And the parents were sitting here and being very vigilant with them. Now, there was something that Ms. Will brought up on yesterday, that she was observing that at lunchtime, people brought lunch for their kids. And I know as the counselors, you guys went out and brought your lunch and brought it back. And she said that she could arrange to have on those days to maybe have one of the little food trucks that would come and be able to service. So that was a very good idea. She said she would check on that if that would work out.
Yeah, actually, so she emailed me about that. She said that on Friday, so like this Friday, the Health and Safety Week will be outside for part of the day. She said, she gave me a list, I can check, but I think it was snow cones, ice cream, and there was like a text meant like truck that she knew that she told them to come at around 12, so it was like around. So yeah, I could.
Is that something that a
If
food
it
truck?
becomes an event like that where we have multiple, then there's a county involved and we have to apply for a health permit. And that takes about 3 weeks.
Oh, okay, so so I take it that food trucks just don't happen up.
They
Yeah.
can pull up anywhere they want, but if you're gonna, if it looks
Okay.
organized, then the county might
Okay.
get involved. I would just caution you on
Yeah, we
that.
might have to back down on that, but the parents, it was clearly in the data that was been out that lunch is not provided. And I did know that people did bring lunch because as you know, we had time kind of vacuuming up this room. And by the way, you guys did a very, very good job of getting everything off of the floor. So they did follow instructions by bringing lunch because some people left a little bit of lunch on the floor. Which would, we're outside and make the birds happy. Okay, so we might have to soft pedal that, but that was just an observation if people, if especially you guys wanted lunch. We could manage.
Talk about regarding the summer program?
I have a few things, just a couple things. So to reminder, we're not in this room tomorrow. You are in the TH1 room, which is right outside the library. So that'll be there. And then number two, Monday is the CSD holiday, so the town hall will be closed. So I don't know if the library will be open. I would assume not. It's part of the county.
What is our activity on the 19th then? Can't hear you. You're gonna have to come up. Okay, so that's occupational
Mhm.
and that's on Monday. And this bill, okay, because we were having someone from Lawrence Livermore Lab and it was actually instructions.
We can still find staff to let you in. I'm just letting you know that nobody else will be in the building
Mhm.
except for you guys.
One thing that we did notice for the TH1 room, for the capacity, even with 50, that room is not large enough.
Don't think that this room is appropriate for food,
Right,
But-
right.
but any
Not
of the
for
other
food,
days,
but-
it's
but
fine.
This is, I'm talking about when, and we probably have to manage that differently, for food at lunchtime,
Yeah,
go out.
well,
to the
for
park
that, but
area.
I think you said you're having a chef come. Are they actually bringing food and preparing it and stuff? Okay,
No, the cooking is not on the.
I believe the cooking was said to be outside in the picnic
Outside.
tables, right?
We have to double check the reservation. I think so.
Okay, so if the picnic tables are and the chef cooking is all outside, then
That's
the other
outside.
part of the day, would it be fine to have the boardroom?
yeah, as long as there's no food in here, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can handle
outside.
that.
But I was thinking for occupational, we may have a large number and that there was no food. The people be talking about occupation. I think I think Mr. Kelly will be talking about saving, investing, those types of thing. And then Mr. Brown, it could be a plethora of anything. He's an ex-colonel and works for the lab, a scientist. So it's a listening exercise.
Yeah, that was actually one of the concerns which we were having after we found out about like how young most of the signups were, is that a lot of the people who are coming, they're at relatively complex like fields.
Mhm.
And like, although we can like dumb down like some fields like cooking and architecture, it kind of becomes harder for some other places. So I was just thinking if there's like any possible like solution to that, because I don't really know how interested like a kid would be about learning about like entrepreneurship.
I think you probably want to reach out to the speakers in terms of that and see their comfort level
Mhm.
with, presenting to a group that young.
Yeah, so I on Monday, the woman, I forgot her name, but no, she's from
Miss Brackens, yeah.
yeah, so from Turn Your Passion to Profit. And when I told her about the age range, she said that it'll be a little bit more difficult, but then she thinks she can manage. But like overall, I was just like, it was just like a general concern that like if throughout the entire week, they're all like kindergarten, first graders, then they might get more bored. Because the way that's organized is that like the further in the week they are, so like Wednesday and Friday is meant for slightly more like advanced audiences. than like Monday, which is like the super simple stuff. So, yeah,
You can follow the Sesame Street model, they used to dumb down everything in Congress.
maybe. I'll try contacting some of the people and see if like that changes anything for them.
And the other thing too is that people are signing up, week by week. And you put what the topic is, maybe that may start some elimination on its own, that people realize that, oh, you take an occupational and maybe my kindergartner or my second grader may not want to be part of that. So hopefully people will look at the schedule and do some self-elimination. I think.
So one of the beauties about our registration program is that we can do mass email. So I can go through and handpick all the ones that kids are under 9 and mass email them and warn them. This topic may not be suitable for your child. We recommend that you come back another week. I mean, we can say you're more than welcome to come. However, these topics won't appeal to you or your child. So it might hinder a lot of people from coming.
Do you think if like we put like through the mass email, if we provided them with like, just like, okay, like this is the general topic that will be covered on Monday, this will be covered on Wednesday, this will be covered on Friday, and then that could like, that serves as like the warning for like the parents.
Yeah, if you're okay with
I could, like,
Johnny
provide
coming
this-
on Monday, but not coming on Wednesday. I mean, depends on how much you want them to come. Do you want to have a smaller group on the harder days and a bigger group on the easier days? You want consistency, or you just don't really?
The
care about that.
scale is not much of an issue. We were just more worried about like how, like the complexity of like the topic being brought to like what age level kid. But in terms of like audience, if it turns out like only like 10, 15 kids show up for like one of the entrepreneurship stuff, I don't think that's too much of a problem.
Okay,
But like, I think we should be we should prioritize, making sure that the kid will actually be interested in it, or like, it won't be something too complex for them that they just want to leave.
okay. Then I can do that and let the parents of kids under than what, 9? 8,
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a good range.
8 or 9?
9, 8 and 9.
Okay,
Yeah.
If you want, do you want me to like email you with like the specific like events that will be happening like each day, so you can include it in the email?
I think I have all of that unless it's changed. If it's more specific, yeah, then I'll go ahead and do that. I can say.
Okay, I'll just send it just to like make sure that like it's all updated.
Right now you have a wait list of about 20 in every camp. So.
Wait list of 20. Do we
20.
know the age ranges of the wait?
Well, seeing, it sounds like you have a lot of little ones, so it's
Mhm.
out of the 20, you're probably at 10 or 11 are probably 6 or 7 years old.
It's amazing how, when you put information out in general, I mean, it's amazing how many parents zeroed in on young people coming.
Yeah.
I mean, the kindergarten and first grade, it's just amazing how.
So are you looking at kids going into kindergarten, or because I set it up so that the kids going into first grade,
That's fine.
Yes.
which means they just got out of kindergarten. So you shouldn't have any,
We had some kindergartens, there's some people in.
there are
actually
probably
had kindergarten.
kindergartners going into first,
Mhm.
but that's,
And that's what, when people were signing in, a few of the parents did say, I said, it's the grade that they're going to.
mhm,
Yeah,
okay.
I told them put the grade that they're going to. And one thing I found out about parents is that they may register the child that is in age range, but they walk with younger kids and everybody comes, so it's one of these things where you can't leave the baby at home, so you bring it. So we ended up, it looks like preschool.
Do you want to
Not
put
to
that
be-
note in too? Parents, I mean, siblings should not be attending.
We could try like a more, like, I wouldn't say it's strict, but we could just try like double checking like when we're registering them, like seeing who's coming inside
Mhm,
and like making sure that like, oh, like you actually signed up to like be here.
yeah.
Can we really kick them out after they come?
No.
And as, and I don't hate to be that restrictive because, I think I barely remember having young kids, barely, but. But I know those are issues that people have, but even everything that we do we learn from it, becomes a learning experience for us to put in our toolkits to make things better. And even going forward to address that. So you're not isolating a family, but by having a younger person at home, that maybe part of it could be that it's sometimes we have a little space over where little kids can be, that they're not part of the regular camp, but just have the parents know that your little child could be in this area. You're watching them, but keep all the little people who aren't ready to be in the program together, where they're not disrupting the older kids.
The way I think of it is, if we just, do the mass email where we say, okay, this activity for this day is more geared towards older kids, then I think just naturally, like, you know, the parents that have the younger age range, siblings, they won't show up. That's how I think of it, but, I feel like managing them individually, like, okay, I see you have a younger kid, can you just please? It feels like it would be too much. So, I mean, if we can accommodate them in the activity, by all means, I think it's okay if they do show up, but I think deterring through mass email should be fine.
And, not use the word that, we're using a dumb down, but dumb down does seem to work for me. If like for when someone is talking about, let's say, turning your profit, turning your passion into profit.
Oh.
Even if there's younger kids, to explain it, what is passion? Just go through just the basic. What is it that you really like to do? And that's called your passion. So just give them a really elementary form of the overall, what the big thing is. So maybe later, you talk about the thing, what's a passion? Something that you really love to do, that's easy for you, and how that relates to a job. If you're working your passion, it's really not work, but explain things to them in a way that they can grasp it, and they're not getting too much information. They're just it's giving them a little pre-foundation on something that's going to be a larger scale later.
All right, yes, I'll just make sure to like me and Aditi will make sure that we recontact each of the people and make sure that they understand like the age range of what they should be expecting, as well as like the volume. So we'll just make sure that they're ready for that.
But I know Ms. Brackens did say that, and that's why she came on yesterday, so she could get a feel for the audience, with the age range of the kids, so she could adjust her program accordingly. And I think she's bringing a couple of ladies in her organization with her that could probably address more young people. So she is trying to address that.
All right, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like I know that they might be able to do both of those, like the admin process. And then potentially like we're actually.
You need to get older people.
Yes.
Okay. Especially too on the investment too, that's a good tool for older people to talk about saving, living within your means, your budget, and what have you. And those are key learnings to go forward. Don't spend more than you make.
Wait, so you're talking about contacting clubs to get like students? I mean, we could, but I mean, it is they're high school clubs. And so like the two things is that first of all, it's like summer. So like, I mean, if you can get in contact with them, that works. But second would be most of the people who are probably following those accounts are also high schoolers. And since like the program is aimed towards 2nd to 8th grade, they may not like fall within the range of the program. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, we could try encouraging that as well. Maybe we could send email to all the YAC members as well. Like, oh, if your kid's if your siblings interested, you can bring them with you. But yeah, no, that's a good idea.
But it looks like we have a good number of people participating, which just questionable is the age range of the people who will be participating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It look like the numbers are there, but it'll be wondering who comes through the door.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you can get in contact with any of them, like, as quickly as possible, then that would be better.
Yeah, and you can let us know and we'll get something. out
Yeah,
the site.
we can send like copies of the flyer as
Yeah.
well if you need it, or just anything that you may need in order, which they would need to like repost it. And just like let us know.
But another thing too, I did hear Miss Johnson when she did say that there is the wait list. We probably need to give her clear direction to open up the wait list, because
Yeah.
that's going to bring more people where we wouldn't have to do a lot of soliciting, to give her the go ahead, so we can give clear direction that let the wait list flood in. Because
Correct.
those are people who are on wait,
Mhm.
and then see what kind of numbers we end up with, if that makes any sense.
So I think what we can provide for you, Ms. Johnston, is we can provide clear directions in an email saying that, okay, we want these specific changes for the website, like raise the limit to so-and-so for this week, specify that we would want an email for this age range for this week.
Okay.
2nd through 8th grade will be like the new age range in like the general website. So things like that, I think we can just get you an email, and then once we have that and mass emails go through, and then we have people hopefully, oh, okay, this is not for me. Let me just quickly unsign up for it. I think that's where we can start pursuing like sharing to the middle schoolers and all that, so we can get correct target audience.
Just like indirectly filtering, kind of like
Yeah.
like telling them more so they decide if it's good for them or not.
Yeah.
Since it was kind of hard to fit all the information on the flyer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you check all the parents in when they came, or did
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
trust that they, okay, signed up?
But we checked all the volunteers and like the parents.
Okay, great.
Also, so I know you sent me the roster for volunteers. If you could send me a participant roster as well with so I can cross-check the
Yeah.
information.
In fact, I set you up. It might have gone to your junk mail because it went into
Oh.
mine. It went into mine. So
Okay.
I'll make a note of that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. The
Participant.
But if you didn't have the participant roster, how did you check to make sure parents register?
We had them sign in because we didn't have the participant roster, and so
Oh.
we.
Okay, so there's the issue. We need to make
Right.
sure that they're on that roster.
Yeah, so if we can get the roster from here on out.
Okay,
Check your junk.
This, their child's name. Their email address, their telephone number, their age, to check the time, sign in and sign up. and
Mhm.
support the sign in and sign up.
Yeah.
So it's everyone. Age. And in and out.
okay. When you come in tomorrow to check in, I'll have that for them at the front counter.
And I may.
It didn't take like more than 15 minutes, right? I think we're done by.
Because
Okay.
there was like and for like the first like 20-ish minutes, it was just like a flow of kids coming in,
Yeah.
right? So like what they would do, they'd like come in, they would sign in, and they would just like kind of sit down. So it didn't take too long, and also because like the firefighters, they didn't start their presentation until a little bit later. So it just ended up working out. Like by the time 90% of the kids were signed in, then the fire department kind of started their thing.
Yeah, and the way we have. Yeah, and the way we have our schedule signed up on the spreadsheet, it's the check-in time. If you guys notice, 15 minutes, so it worked out perfectly just like that.
Say 5 kids getting that's gonna be like really slow. It's gonna like feel like.
I think the way we can have it is we can just have it where it's like, if we have the roster, we can just ask, okay, what is your name? I see you on the list. Let me check you off, and volunteers can handle that.
Also, because like, like I said earlier, like they didn't all come at once. They didn't all just hoard up. It was like it was a relatively like smooth flow, like you'd have, like in obviously in the first 5-10 minutes, it was the most people, but then after that, it was just like a relatively slow thing, so it shouldn't bring any extra like time being added. It's just that the people might have to start their presentation, whatever the activity, a little bit later for like occupation week. Or like for the rest of health and safety. But other than that, there shouldn't be too much of like a line or anything. Also, because it'll go pretty quick if we have multiple volunteers as well, so. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Tomorrow we'll be doing the programming with K1.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the sheriff department. Mhm. Wait, does he already? Does he already?
So, yeah, I talked to him, but like, kind of. Told me that today he's gonna come here and like look around to see like standard day location. I didn't give him like the exact route, so I wasn't sure if he was gonna be here or like, you know, so I just told him today. Need to have him.
Now, one thing that I did notice, because police and sheriff department, a lot of young people do show up today. My greatest concern is for tomorrow, when the sheriff's department is getting information that you'll have at least the same people who came, because most of the people who left out here, parents, the same, will see you on Wednesday. Which means that they're bringing their little kids back.
Hopefully.
I'm wondering if that room, really holds, you might have to, well, the library, people, but if that creates one room, we may have overflow.
Could we try potentially just like encouraging the parents to like wait outside or maybe like go in the library, but stay within the library while, so the TH1 room itself doesn't get too crowded? So like we have only the kids who signed up inside the TH1 room, and then like the parents stay like outside but nearby.
Older young people, they did say that they would at the library, and that's if you have a cell phone, that they would go in the hall or in the library. So not all of the parents did come in. Some of them, you notice that they kind of just wandered out.
Yeah. So I think that's as far as like making sure it doesn't get too crowded in there. I think that's about the best we can do to prevent.
I want to say it's like 70 or something, but that's all sitting down. The other option might be to use the Unity Center across the street.
That's like the old library.
Oh, mhm. Also,
Okay.
because like a lot of the days, it's like different locations, so I think it's already kind of confusing for
Mhm.
parents as it is, so it's probably best we just keep with what we have.
Okay.
Well, for tomorrow,
Uh,
Because when I clicked the link, it went here, I had to sign in, got download. There's like 4,000 access, I'm seeing busy.
Oh, gosh,
I'm not sure.
that's
if-
Mulder.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is what you want.
No, I don't think so.
Uh,
Did you get that into your spam folder?
No, this is actually what he's doing. So what happened was, I had to sign in the things, my student sign in, and then like, I'm a minor, right? So I signed up a minor account, it wasn't working. So then I had Miss Tingle do it, but then I'm not sure.
Okay.
She saw something different, but then when I signed in to my mom's account,
Mhm.
it gave me this, and I have this now.
And how many are on there?
Like 4,000, so. I think.
Oh, gosh.
It's spelling it a little bit.
Oh, so that's probably every single roster.
Yeah, it's just like. part of the
Okay.
master roster.
Okay. Yeah, that's not it. I'll double check it.
now, so tomorrow, 11 from 11 to 2 tomorrow, this is on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a staff meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you see it.
It should be fine, probably.
No, so.
Oh.
We do a board run through too, so that's why we're in here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, we could just set it up. for kids.
Yeah, that's how it have to be. I think it would fit everybody.
Set up in their chairs and those tables. And their chairs are available for the TH1, correct?
Yeah.
We use the same ones that
There's some in there, yeah.
some.
Yep, they're all stacked up against the wall. I don't know for sure. I can't say for sure. But we also have some underneath our stairwell here. We can. walk.
And I have the signs that were made, and all of those back and forth, yeah, summer, and with the signs for. And I think I'm good, so I don't feel anything.
No, you didn't.
Well, you said that's basically it for, I mean, in terms of the summer program, right? All right, so, moving on to our next agenda item would be future agenda items,
Summer program.
which should probably also be the summer program.
Unless, do we have anything else?
We'd like to report out tomorrow, board meeting as to, what went on in, summer camp, they were on the PPFK, and they just did a call for, the rest of this week, and what have you, but basically, that's, I see a lot of it. Who would like to report out, it's a positive thing. I'd like to have the opportunity to report out tomorrow to the board and the community, of all the wonderful things that you guys are doing in summer camp, and how wonderful it's coming along. Would everyone raise their hand one time?
If no one wants to, I don't mind reporting out. No one else from the audience wants to. All right, okay.
Not
Yeah,
reported out before.
So everyone here has?
I guess everyone here has it.
Everyone's reported out. You have a what?
It takes like 5 minutes.
7:00. Be here and I'll call on you at this time. You could just basically tell about the summer program and you can glean from them the success. And I thought, yes, Monday was a success. And then, by tomorrow night, we'll have a little bit more history. That's how things went. Have you reported that? I didn't think so.
All right, we'll send you all the information about it, and then if you need help, I can help you make the script as well. But it's tomorrow at 7, right?
It's 7:00.
7:00.
Did, want to take,
Oh, check.
Yeah.
Some public comments, any public comments? No public comment, all right, what's it called? Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Aye.
Okay. That's
Motion passed.
motion passed.
Yeah.